Hey, friends. Andy Kennedy here, coming to you live from Florida. It's a beautiful day in Florida. It's a little overcast. We are going to a baseball game. So I am representing with my local team or my OG local team. He's not local to me anymore, but once a Nats fan, always a Nats fan, I guess. But so today's day one of our last topic. We are in the home stretch of toxic truths. And I'm super excited about these next 2 weeks. I said that yesterday because I have a lot packed into these next 2 weeks. And 2 weeks is almost not enough because I feel like even though the first two topics were heavy with resources as well, we did the first 2 weeks, we did nutrition. The second 2 weeks, we did the body. In that regard, we talked a lot about reading the label. So I'm going to bring that back into this. I talked a lot about my story as well and why I'm doing this. If you're new to Toxic Truths, a recap on that is this is just a journey of like the last 30 years of my life and what I have cut out in order to be healthier, to feel healthier, to be sharper, to have clarity, to have physical strength and clarity, and to have all of those toxins removed from our food, from our body products, and from our home, and of course from our mind, um, really locks in that transition to health, that decision to live a healthier life, to live with vibrancy. And that's what I have witnessed over the last 30 years for me. I feel better at 50 than I did at 30 because I wasn't paying attention to those toxic truths. I wasn't even aware. I wasn't even aware that we were being poisoned on a daily basis by the system. And of course, systems are there because it makes our life living as a global community easier, right? Like, I get that some of our systems are in place because someone thought it was a good idea, right? No one's ever creating these things with malicious intent, I feel like, right? We need preservatives because stuff sits on the shelf longer. We need, big ag because how are we going to feed millions of people in cities who don't have their own farm, right? Those are just two examples of where systems are a good idea in place, but then as they progress over the next decade or two or three or five, um, breakdowns begin. Breakdowns in those systems begin. Our food becomes, you know, less and less like the source itself, so less and less nutrient dense. Our body products are less and less also like the source itself. So today I'm going to post a couple of photos of things that I've used. And throughout the next 2 weeks, I'm going to post products. What's really funny is I'm here right now in Florida, so I am not around any of my own products. And um, I didn't get this information from my parents. So my parents don't have these kind of products in their home. So I can't show, which means when I come here, right, I have to bring a lot of my own products. Um, and actually store products here. So I store essential oils here and lotions here and sunscreen here because my parents aren't using any of those things. And, you can't really train your parents. So I mean, I drip on them, and my mom's always been very natural based and uses a lot of things that are healthy. And for instance, she just said to me, "I'm so proud of you, mother, if you're watching this," although she said she wasn't watching any of these because she didn't want to know, I don't think. But um, I'm really proud of her because yesterday she said to me, "I bought this new detergent, I found this detergent that are sheets that I don't have to waste the plastic bottles anymore. The recycle the plastic and use plastic." And I'm so grateful that that awareness is there for most people now to use less plastic and to save our oceans and save microplastics, save our soil, and keep the plastics out of all of that stuff, right? Um, and you sometimes trade one evil for another. So she was like, "Do you want me to buy you some?" And I was like, "Well, no, because we use soap nuts. Although right now we're doing our laundry in a public arena, or public place arena. Sorry, public, um, laundromat, and the laundry machines are filled with those chemicals, and so I'm just compartmentalizing that until we have our own laundry and until maybe I can line dry and wash some stuff again at the homestead, right? So again, you're maybe trading one evil, not evil, but you know what I mean, one toxin for another. So the sheets dissolve and they're great, but what chemicals are in there to make those sheets? You know, like for me, that always sends me down the rabbit hole of like, how do they make that? Where do they source that? What other fragrances are in there? Right? So you have to be that detective of toxins. You have to be that vigilant. And it's a bummer, but you know that's the world we live in. You have to be that vigilant to really make sure that you know our our bodies, our home, our air is clean and free of toxins. So we are going to talk about air. We are going to talk about laundry detergent. But I'm going to what I just did was I and not that you see my content calendar, but I pushed a lot of the things that are specific to our home, like the cleaning solution that we make, so that I can show you that recipe live and show you at home, you know, when I'm at home. So the next few days are going to be a little bit more less detail oriented and a little bit more general. So tomorrow I'm talking about an app called Buycott, Buycott. If you want to do your homework and download that before we get started tomorrow, that would be cool, because then as I'm doing my live, you can kind of look through the app and get experienced and know like, okay, this thing that I'm buying, what is its history? Who is its maker? For instance, and I'll talk about this at length a little bit more tomorrow, when Burt's Bees, that company that we all loved 20 years ago, got bought by by the company that owns Clorox, right? Uh, hmm, what happens to that chain, that healthy ingredient list that was based and founded on bees, wax, right? What happens when a company like Clorox takes that over and starts selling it in Walmart? Do they have to start putting preservatives in there so that it can stay on the shelf a little bit longer? Yeah, you know the hell yeah they do, right? So that company lost a little bit of its integrity with me. And also I'll talk about that a little bit more tomorrow. So that's tomorrow. And again, I have a couple of other topics this week: plants that cleanse the air, natural scents, lighting, because I can talk about lighting here, because they have some lighting that we don't use, like fluorescents, um, and then some hand sanitizer solutions as well. Which I talked a little bit about on the travel day when I was talking about the body. So again, we'll have some repeats, but at a deeper level and from a different perspective around the home. So thanks for watching as always, guys. Appreciate your support for my challenge. This is my challenge, not yours. You're not supposed to clean out 60 things out of your home in 60 days. But my challenge was for me to go live every day, and it has been a challenge. It was a challenge through when I was sick. It was a challenge when I was traveling. It's a challenge when I'm traveling again now. And I think that's great. So if you're somebody that, doesn't go live, but everyone tells you should for your business, try this challenge. Pick a topic that you know a lot about and you can do 60 days on, so that you can set yourself as the expert on that topic. And disclaimer, as you all know, and I've said dozens of times, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I don't have a medical degree, right? I don't have any of those. I'm not a nutritionist, So when I was talking about nutrition, I didn't bring that in. Where I feel like I'm the expert on this topic is, this is what I've done for myself. Can I always be learning and always get better? Yeah, of course, because new things come in. So when I talk about laundry, and I'll tell my story around the whole soap nuts thing, shout out to Tracy Zuchlog for that, and where I heard about it and that whole story, right? I was thinking I was doing great with natural laundry detergent at that point, right? So we can always up level and always get better and always shift, because in this new age where we're really formulating, the younger generation is coming in with their ideas and their inventions, and we're formulating new solutions to things. It's hard to stay on top of all of that, especially in all four of these categories. So I welcome your suggestions. I welcome your tools over these next 2 weeks. If you use something that's different, join the Facebook group and put your insights and your resources in there for us. So follow the link to that. and share this with a friend if it makes you think of them throughout the next 2 weeks. And then at the end of this, at the end of those 2 weeks too, I'm going to talk about where we're going to take this further from there. So thank you for watching. Thanks for being here. And as always, we'll see you tomorrow.